I think I spent probably £300 on Easter eggs, but we got something like 100. And let's be honest, Modash will give me 20 times more people to go after that will work on a commission basis. So, that's kind of the brutal answer. But what I also say to the business owner is make sure that you get something in return in terms of numbers. Show me some case studies. Mm-hmm. Who else have you worked with in a similar space? I can then go back to the client and say, or the business owner can then make a rational decision. If you're just saying, well, you're going to get in front of my 500,000 YouTube followers, that doesn't make any sense to me. I can't equate that to this $20,000 fee.
I can tell from this conversation that there's a little bit of lag. So if I interrupt you, then just ignore me and just steamroll me. It's more important to hear what you have to say than what I have to say. So yeah. Oh, and if I talk over you, then it's not because I'm like a horrible person. It's just because there's a little bit of lag. I am a horrible person, but it's unrelated to talking over you. Yeah. Well then, welcome to the show, Jason, the owner and longtime operator of Speedie Consulting, right? It's Speedie Consulting, or
Speedie. It's kind of a strange thing. So yeah, Speedie Consulting is fine.
I think the punchline in describing your background is, as you said, you've been doing affiliate marketing longer than I've been alive, since 1997, according to my notes, which is just a hair longer than I've been around. So pretty interesting. It must be a cool evolution that you've witnessed over the last 20 years.
Yeah, it's kind of it's a weird thing because it's cyclical. So it's kind of interesting. Probably every 10 years, it just goes full circle. But the problem is the new people coming into the space think they're creating something new. And you sort of go, no, it's the same stuff. You've just called it something else. So, affiliate marketing, performance marketing, whatever kind of marketing, it's always been the same. And in the early days, it was a bit more Wild Westy. I think now with influencers and social media, it's gone a bit more Wild Westy again. But yeah, there's nothing really new under the sun. I mean, people have been doing referral marketing since business started. There's probably some guy sat in Babylon that created a referral program, hundreds of thousands of years ago. So, you promote my stuff and I'll give you a commission. It's kind of all it was.
I'll give you an extra sharp rock.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we'll just give you a big stick. Yeah.
Maybe you can tell a little bit, as I understood, based on what you just mentioned before the show, most of your work has been on the consumer side. So you've done everything from like fintech stuff to like loans and insurance and dating. I wasn't sure if you meant dating apps or what you mean, but
so, this was,
is there like do you have a...
So it was pre-app. So, Match.com, Harmony, e-dating, so way back. So as an agency, we've done all three sides of affiliate marketing. So we've been the affiliate, we've been the merchant, and we've been the agency. So we've done everything. Because when we first started and we first started promoting affiliate marketing as an agency, we used to get merchants come to us and say, well, if this affiliate marketing is so good, why aren't you doing it? So I suffered that for about a year and then just went, you know what, we're just going to do it. So we basically built a network of 150 exact match domain websites for all kinds of things. Dating, lingerie, wine, all kinds of things, like a raft of things, all on the B2C side. So we built all that. And then that helped us get more clients. So then we would then have websites that we ranked really, really well in Google. We'd then go out and get another merchant and they'd say, right, okay, we'll stick you on our dating site, or we'll stick you on our wine site, or we'll stick you on our lingerie site. And it sort of grew from there, really. So yeah, and it has been mainly B2C because that's where the industry was. B2B's always been there. And in fact, as much as this is really going to rankle some people, B2B is a much bigger market, massively bigger than the B2C space, because the size of the deals are just so much bigger. But people don't have the visibility. You don't have the visibility of an A-win. You don't have the visibility of a share a sale or trade doubler or commission junction or don't we say ClickBank. So we don't have that. But we've been doing it an awful long time, and it's just we've kind of flitted in, flitted out. So we Google decided to close my affiliate network down. 2007, I think Google Pharma did that, just killed it overnight. So we lost 150 websites like that. So then we just went back to being an agency and kind of a merchant now and again. So we've got our own little affiliate program, or we call it a partner ambassador program. So we take referrals in for what we do, because you have to eat your own medicine. If you're not doing it yourself, then what's the point?
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, we've heard that questions a few times, so now we have a couple of partners of our own as well. It definitely helps to eat your own dog food, as you say. So, and I'm sorry for your crazy SEO update loss. I guess Farmer Update must have been an SEO change, that Google made and just crushed a bunch of traffic sites you have. But let's talk about a positive story here. You told me a story about like going from 0 to 100,000 in an insurance product, like bookings through affiliate, and they marked this story as like particularly interesting. So I'm curious what that one is about.
Yeah, so that was actually payday loans. So that was a payday loan product.
Oh.
So kind of the same kind of thing. Basically, what happened was the company came to us that launched. It was a new startup that just launched. In the UK, we have secured loans. So secured lending is where you borrow some money on the value of your house. So it's like a second charge loan on your house. The problem is 2003, when we had the financial crash. I think it was the first one, or maybe the second one. A lot of these lenders just went pop. They just disappeared overnight, and a lot of them then moved into payday lending because they had the systems in place, they had the models, everything else. So we had a new partner that basically were quite aggressive. It was fairly new, and basically we went everywhere. We basically set up affiliate programs on multiple networks. We then went after some of the secured lenders' networks, so they had closed networks, so we went after them, and just basically we just built this. Although it was a massive network, there was probably only about 50 affiliates that actually did anything, but those 50 affiliates drove a lot of traffic, an awful lot of traffic. And what we found was the sweet spot for us was it wasn't. Payday's had a bad name. Even when it came out at the time, it was sort of going for the low end of the market. But what we found is it was actually the middle classes that were using it to continually to fund their lifestyle. So they would take out a payday loan, they would use the money during the month, and then they'd repay at the end of the month, and they'd take another loan. So they'd just roll over. And it was kind of an eye-opener for us. And yeah, within that first 12 months, it was like a bit of a gold rush. I'd like to say it was all my responsibility. I'd like to say it was all down to me. But it was. But no. No, it was it was just one of those, sweet spot, right time, right product, right tracking, right affiliates, really.
Well, then you've definitely got some wins under your belt. It's interesting. I feel like sometimes you learn the most from recently I've seen on YouTube a couple of these guys pop up who are like ex-mafioso bosses kind of thing, talking about leadership and that kind of stuff. They used to be running the family, and now today I get to talk to the affiliate loan shark of the British mafia. Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So but then again, it's you can find an angle with everything. And I guess that's the key to it. Just keep an open mind, and you'll find a way.
So let's maybe start from the beginning, because I'm not very affiliate expert myself. So I think I make a good leading learner here. Okay. What do you think is so? You mentioned e-com as one category you guys had worked in. So an e-commerce store shows up on your doorstep, or you if you were to kick off an e-com store yourself, maybe. What's your process like from? Okay, we need to implement this channel. Now is the right time to do that. It'd be interesting to understand that. And then how does the process go from day 0 to I have 10,000 affiliates and a few hundred of them are crushing?
Yeah. So for us, I'm kind of a little bit different to most people in that what we don't do is I don't suggest companies launch their affiliate program on day 1. Because you don't have conversion data, you don't understand how well your product life cycle works, you don't have a revenue stream, blah, blah, blah. Because if I go to some big affiliates, and especially now with the influencer space, if I go to a big influencer and say, here's a great product, what they're going to ask, these guys are now savvy, they're going to say, what's your earning per click? What's your conversion rate? What's the lifetime value of a customer? So they can work out that stuff. But if I go to them on day zero and I haven't got any of that information, you could go back in 6 months, but you're probably going to burn that bridge because they're just going to go, you know what, you were a waste of time. So what we suggest most people do is that's my first question. How long have you been running? What are the numbers? If you can't give me numbers, go get them. And if people say to me that they've got we've got an SEO strategy to launch our business, therefore it's going to take 6 months, I'll say go to the bank, borrow £1,000, put it in pay-per-click, spend it in a week, and you'll get all the learning you'll ever need. Because you'll see how much that will also influence your SEO campaigns, but that's another story. But that will help people understand what they need. Once you've done that, we then say, right, what platform you built on? So, are you built on Shopify? Are you built in WordPress? Are you built in Joomla, Drupal, whatever it is? And then we go and find a platform that will integrate with that. Then we ask them, do they want an open network or a closed network? Open network could be going to Awin or ShareASale or going to, just going to an affiliate network. Or they may say, well, actually, we want to build a closed network. We want to build our own. So therefore, we then think, right, we need a third-party solution. So that could be, and they've all gone out of my head as soon as I said that. There's a whole range of third-party products I'm getting old. I've just forgotten half of them. So you've got Post Affiliate Pro, you've got Has Offers, which is now Tune. So you can run your own affiliate network in a closed environment. We'll come back to why that's a good thing or a bad thing, depending on how you set it up. Then we start to talk about what profit have you got in the product, how much commission can you give away, what's a sale worth to you, because you need to get that number right initially. Because if you get it wrong and you're going too high, then you're then going to have to reduce commission when you find out this isn't going to work for you. The worst thing you can do to an affiliate is motivate him by reducing his commission. Not going to work. He's just going to go, I'll go and find something else. So it's always best to start low and work up. Obviously, different affiliates can have different commissions and everything else, but you should have a broad brush approach to say, well, actually, this is my margin. I get both hands in. This is my margin. That's how much I'm going to give away initially, and then I'm going to ramp it up depending on performance and all that kind of stuff. And then that's pretty much it. And then once they've made that decision, it's then look at their marketing material, look at their landing pages, look at their creative, see who they want to, who else serves their target audience, what kind of program do they want. So for us, it could be, we could say to somebody, is it a talent gap? So are you looking for social media advertising partners because you don't do any social media advertising? Are you looking for pay-per-click affiliates because you're not doing any pay-per-click and you can't do it in-house, so you're going to outsource it on a performance basis through a network? So is that the goal? Is the goal that you want brand leverage, so you just want to be on 10,000 affiliate websites? Because, getting your banners and buttons and logos everywhere doesn't cost you anything apart from the network fee. So all of a sudden you could be everywhere on all these websites, and that's without any sales or traffic happening. So that could be a thing. Or you could be, I want to work with 10 or 12 partners. I don't want a massive program. Or we get this all the time because people are scared. They're scared of overwhelming their supply chain. Or they may be in a business where they physically need to talk to the customer because it's a custom product that needs to be custom made and all this kind of stuff. So as much as people will be on this call going, but that's a good problem to have, for some people, that's a terrifying problem to have because they don't want to break their supply chain. So you have to kind of start small. And then we just constantly have these conversations about what kind of, what's next. Do you want, if you're on an open network, do you want to join a second network? Because that second network might get you added reach. Do you now want to build a ambassador network within your own business so that you can then go out and get key partners that you can keep quiet on the network? So,
Gotcha.
one of the things we do, especially in the B2C space, is we like B2B to C. So rather than just going after consumer affiliates, we go after other business affiliates that have a community of consumers. So you're just reaching through that network. So as much as we always talk, B2C, it could be B2B to C. So we kind of do that kind of stuff as well. And it just grows and grows and grows.
It's easy to tell when I talk to somebody who's been doing what they're doing for like a good bit of time, because it's just like you just rattle things off back to back, and so clearly too. So let's see if I got you. Step one is to understand the fundamentals in the numbers. So like, do you have a business actually running was basically the case. What are you looking for in those numbers to understand whether someone's ready? Is there like certain golden rules that you have in mind that are particularly important?
Yeah, to be honest, it's actually having the numbers and having them ready to hand. That tells me that you're serious, because we get this all the time. We want to run an affiliate program, and we want 10,000 affiliates, and we want to drive $2 million worth of revenue in the first year. Okay, how much profit's in your product? Don't know. Well, where did you just come up with all those numbers you just told me? How have you? Is this written on the back of a cigarette packet? How have you done all these calculations? And it's like, well, we haven't. We just, we went on to Modash, we looked at a blog, and there was a case study that looked kind of cool, so we thought, we'll just replicate that. Oh my God. So yeah, fun, yeah. And it's a good, I think other affiliate managers and other agencies will say to you, if you come at me with serious numbers, we know you're serious. If you know those numbers ahead of time, if I'm having to go back to you and say, what's your average cost per click? Are you doing any Facebook advertising? How much traffic have you got? If they've only got 1,000 visits a month, it's probably going to be kind of hard to go to, Top Cashback or Honey or some of these big affiliate partners and go, I've got this fantastic product for you. Because they're going to go and look. And they're just going to go, no, not interested. You haven't got any numbers.
Yeah. It's interesting that you mentioned that. I'd be curious to know if this is something that you've experienced your whole career, because I think we face a very similar set of issues sometimes. We talk to customers, and their plan is we're going to reach 1 million influencers. We're going to ping like 1 million people on TikTok. We just need all their emails. We're just going to dump them into an email sending to them. We're going to blast them. And it's like, cool. Which domains have you warmed up to send those emails? It's like, none. I don't know what that means. Or what copy are you going to write to get them to open the emails? And they say, it doesn't. We'll figure that out. That's easy, which it's not. It takes some iteration for sure. And then the question is, then when it does work, how are you going to handle 1 million people? You're going to ping 1 million people, and you're telling me that 100,000 of them are going to respond to you. How are you going to onboard 1 million creators to a program? So it's I totally understand the pain that you're talking about. Makes a lot of sense to me. What about the margin bit? So people come to you, they know their numbers, but margins seem to be an important one. Do you have like what's a good looking margin? Affiliate can definitely work versus like we're getting real slim, we don't have much room to play.
Yeah, again, it depends. To be honest, it depends on the product. So and that's a real cop out of an answer. It really does depend. If they've got 15-20% in the product, that's great. Ideally, you want sort of, and this is overall margin. This isn't just that you would pay away to the affiliate. This could be, we've got to have that proper conversation about what the physical margin is in the product. Is it 30%? Is it 50%? Is it 200%? It doesn't matter. I don't care, as long as we know, so that we can then say, well, actually, we can pay away either a fixed fee per sale or a percentage per sale. And once we decide what that is, then we'll constantly review that before we even put it live. Go away and sanity check. If we gave away 10% and we have to pay 30% override to the network, then we have to pay taxes. This is now going to cost you probably 17%. The 17% now still work with your model. If it does and it's still got profit and it's still profitable, that's great. What if we then said we want to give a 5% discount code to the affiliate network? Does that still work at 22.5%, or do we need to now reduce commission for coupon affiliates? You have to have all these conversations, because otherwise, like I say, I hate reducing commission. I hate it, because it's the worst thing in the world, because the next thing that the client says is, how come my sales have dropped? How do we get more sales? It's like, you're not listening. We needed to have these conversations. So, yeah, margins are good. Digital products, normally 50 to 100% markup, I would have thought, and margin. Slim retail products, really price competitive stuff is probably going to be in the, you've only got to look at Amazon Associates. Amazon, will pay you 3% commission on some stuff. That's not just because they're, who the size they are. It's because the product hasn't got that much margin in it, because they're really price sensitive and price competitive. So, it kind of depends. We like to go in at around 10%, but again, clothing, we're doing a lot of stuff because of the prepper conversation we had earlier. We do a lot of stuff in the prepper space, and a lot of that is sort of 5 to 7% on clothing and this kind of stuff, because it's a really competitive space.
Okay. I think sometimes what I hear from folks is that they're afraid to try a channel like this because they have some belief about their product that it's impossible. So I'm curious if is there a floor where, okay, if you can't afford to give up $5 per conversion, then there's no point in even testing this. Is there like a floor to the like dollar amount that you need to be able to sacrifice, or it's really possible at any? I mean, I imagine a penny is impossible, for example. But
I would have thought something like that. But then again, it depends. So we could turn that on its head, and you could say, right, okay, we can't give away a cost per sale because we don't have the margin. But could we run an affiliate program that gave you 50 cents for every newsletter sign up? Could we give you 10 cents for every video watched? I don't know. We could find a way. Or we could pay you, instead of paying for products, everyone who signs up and activates this app, will give them $5. We can find a way around it, because the channel works. It's not just a commission-based channel. It can be performance-based channel. And performance means cost per lead, cost per email, cost per sign-up, cost per app activation. There's a whole raft of things that we can do. So, it's not just about thinking, I can't afford to sell. What I would do with that is I would run that in-house. I wouldn't run that on a network. I would basically run that in my own environment, and then go out and recruit affiliates, get 20, 30 affiliates on board. And in fact, you don't even need a piece of software. You can do that through Google Analytics. GA4 will do all of that for you with the campaign URL builder, and you can run that in-house. That then gives you visibility on that the affiliate channel works, and then you can say, well, actually, let's just take this model and go to a network. And now all of a sudden you can 10x it, you can 100x it, you can do all those things, because the network's going to have all those affiliates, and you've just proven the model internally within the business for basically nothing, apart from my consultancy fee to tell you all about that. But now everyone who's listening to this knows how to do it. So, I've just shot myself in the foot. But that could be a way of doing it. And then that then creates a whole bunch of other numbers. Now you need to know, what's your, how much do you earn per subscriber? How much do you earn per video view? All this stuff. And this data's always, it's all there. You just got to look for it.
What I can imagine here, what you've said, basically, if I boiled it all down, there was two little details I wanted to clarify. I think what you're saying is, if you have a really small margin and you don't think you can make this happen, there's two moves you want to do right away. One of them is keep your program in-house, because that's going to stop you from sacrificing all the little pennies in between for products and so on. And the other one is to think about what is maybe more accessible to the end customer that you can pay a little something for, which is kind of the counterbalance. So if you have thin margins, if you have like mass consumer availability, then it's kind of fine. So a newsletter, for example, anybody can sign up for a newsletter. It doesn't cost anything. The friction is really low. And so you can orient the incentives model around that very easy to access thing, rather than purchase of a product that you don't have a lot of margin. And what that does is it also gives the affiliate, I imagine, or the influencer, or whatever, whoever the affiliate is, it gives them the motivation to actually try to push, because it's like, oh, I can do something with this. I can actually get like newsletter signups, whereas maybe I can't sell cars for 20 cents a pop.
Yeah, exactly that. And we see that especially in like consumer insurance. Some people are doing, $15 sale on something like NetQuote or also Car Quotes or Geico or something like that. And then then you could say, well, actually, yeah, that's not working for us. We can't do that. I'm not going to be able to drive that much traffic. But if you said, we've got a money-saving newsletter that's got 10,000 subscribers, and every week, on every Wednesday, we send out these deals, and it's like, yeah, that's a no-brainer. I can sell that. And then off they go. So, it's just thinking slightly about the business. And then, of course, the newsletter is still building an asset inside that company. So they're still adding value.
Yeah, so you need to apply some kind of value to your newsletter sign up and understand a bit, can you convert those people later? What are you going to do?
Yeah.
What's the objective of the newsletter? What's the value of that objective? And that's how you break the math down. And I think just to put a final point on this margin topic, we've seen, even in influencer marketing, that you can do an affiliate model with creators, with Instagram folks or YouTubers, whatever. You can partner with those people and sell a consumer app just on like activated downloads as your incentive metric. So you pay creators per activated download. And we've seen people paying like 3, 5, 6 euros for an activated download, which the lifetime value of that activated download could be like several hundred euros. So it's like it's a great deal. And so point being, even in those very low margin products, it's possible to make it work. So exciting. All right. Maybe quickly on open versus closed network. Is that really about like margin capture, or is there other considerations that go into choosing between those two?
Yeah, so to be honest, it's so open is just going to a network. So you go to affiliate window, AWin, or you go to Share a Sale or Recruitment or one of those, and that's just an open network. Why is that open? Because as a merchant, I can log in and I can see everybody. So I can see everyone on the network. I can see what my competitors are doing. I can see what they're paying commission, all that stuff, which is a blessing and a curse. It can go either way. The difficulty on an open network is a new entrant can come into that market, and that doesn't have to be a new product provider. That could be an old dinosaur Jurassic business that's been around since Warren Buffett was a boy, and they just suddenly come into the market. They've got a massive war chest, and they just basically dominate the market. And we've seen this happen. That someone will come in, they'll pay masses of commissions that just don't make no financial sense whatsoever. And basically your traffic will plunge overnight because everyone jumps ship because they're going to get 5-6 times more commission than someone else. That's one of the problems with an open network. With a closed network, as it says, it's closed. It's a walled garden. It's a walled city. You can't, no other product provider can get in there unless you're stupid enough to let them. You're not displaying commissions. You're not displaying your earnings per click. You're not displaying anything until you've signed contracts and things. Obviously, the difference between the two is one's much quicker to scale, but one's much easier to manage. So it's kind of a balance between what people want. And we've also got clients that run a hybrid of both. So you tend to find that for most e-com products and things where it's, they want to shoot for the moon tomorrow, then go to a network, it's all open, it's fine, and they do that. And then they just, ride that as long as they can. Closed networks tend to be more niche products. They tend to be B2B at the moment, where they just want to create and build their own small group of maybe 20 to 50 partners. And that could be influencers, that could be social media types, that could be anything. So creators that they want to create their own little network, their own environments. They can communicate with them directly on a one-to-one basis. They don't want the noise of a network. Sometimes, with networks, Awin's got 9,000 merchants on there. If one of them sends an email to their affiliates once a week, your message is getting lost. Whereas if you're in a private network and you're running, you could even have a little private WhatsApp group. You can do all that kind of stuff. Your message is getting through, so activation becomes easier because if they can see your messages and your communications, then closed networks work well. So, but they've got advantages, disadvantages. This part of the consultancy piece we do with clients is to talk them through, what's more important to you, sales right now, or the security of building your own little network.
Gotcha. Yeah. How much have you done on the creator side? Have you run some affiliate programs with more like less traditional affiliates who are really kind of they are an affiliate as a business, whereas creators, the difference there I think is that they are creators as a business, and then they happen to make money through affiliate, which just changes the whole communication flow a little bit. Have you done a bit on that side as well?
We've done a little bit. I mean, what we found is that creative is key. So, and when you're working in certain spaces, I mean, this is my problem with my background is it's very high, very finance and insurance related, regulated products. So when you start talking to insurers about having somebody launch a video for you on TikTok, they pass out. They just literally, they can't cope. It's just like, oh my God, that's a compliant nightmare. They're going to get me into trouble. They're going to say the wrong thing. They're going to do it. So you tend to find it doesn't really happen in that space. But then what you also then find is a business tends to be quite lazy. So what they'll do is they'll use their affiliate network and they'll say, right, we'll take all our PPC ads, we'll take all our display ads, we'll take that and we'll just put that in the affiliate network. Not realising that what they need to do in some instances is actually work with a creator to create a message that's unique to that creator, because it's the creator's brand and persona that their audience is engaged with. It's not you as a bank. It's not you as someone selling swimming trunks. It's, it's not about your brand, it's about theirs. And sometimes but I think the industry is getting better. I think clients are getting better. And I think they're also getting better that they're not after the big numbers, they're after engaged audiences and engaged creators. So, maybe 2 years ago, it was all about the Kardashians because they had 20 million eyeballs, or Ronaldo, or Lionel Messi, or, how do I get my products, shouted out by such and such? It's like, well, it's never going to happen. And even if it did, you're not going to drive any sales and you've just spent $50,000 on a tweet. Doesn't make sense. So I think, and that's what I like about Modash is I can go in and I can granularly search by keyword and I can build up a small little community in my little search box that then says, actually, I can talk to these 5 or 6 people. These are going to give me eyeballs in YouTube and TikTok and Insta, and I can work with that. And that makes my kind of life a lot easier, because as much as I know businesses are lazy, I'm lazy. So, I want to use these tools. So we've done a little bit. I think my struggle at the moment is finding B2B influencers, because everyone sees Gary Vee, everyone sees, these guys, but they've got to remember that they're still talking to business owners as consumers. They're not talking to business owners as business owners. Kind of a weird thing. But it's slowly getting there. I think it will happen, but we don't seem to have the same level of influencer creator on the business side as we do on the consumer side. So
I think much like the markets themselves, then the B2B side has smaller selection pool for sure. That's the trade-off. Is in B2B versus B2C sales, for example, you have B2B, which you have smaller target or larger target customers, but fewer of them. And on B2C, you have more target customers. And I think it's basically mapped quite well to social as well. You just have less people talking about those topics, probably because there's less people in those spaces. Everyone has a lifestyle to share, or everybody travels once in a while. Everybody does those things, and not everybody runs a business. So it's definitely tough. I can say that maybe I get to give you a piece of advice here, is thinking one step adjacent from the core business niche, and think about what people who happen to be business owners also consume. Is things like financial advice, real estate investing topics, these kind of like business adjacent people. There's many more of them, and there's some really interesting trustworthy people as well. I think the first thing that comes to mind is like crypto people on YouTube or something, but there is plenty of people with that kind of. There's a guy on YouTube called Graham Stephan who I watch as a business owner, and he's very financially oriented. So that's my pro tip of the day to you. But back to affiliates then. How does outreach work and negotiation with affiliates? Maybe I guess this is particular to a closed network environment, but I'm curious, how does the kind of recruitment and negotiation part go when you're recruiting affiliates into that in closed network?
Yeah, so closed networks they should be fairly simple, to be honest. All you're doing is you've obviously got to do that research. You've got to go and find affiliates, people to go and talk to, and that's a skill and a science all in itself. Because affiliates are everywhere, literally everywhere. I can walk out of my house and I can bump into an affiliate. There's a potential affiliate everywhere. So once you've done that, you've then got to think, well, here's my offer, and you have got to put it in their shoes. It's not about me, it's about them. So we tend to find that the notes that work best is where we fill a need, we fill a gap. We've noticed that you service the same customer base we do, you talk to the same customers we do, but I notice you don't do this. And we do this, and we can pay you for referrals for this. So that kind of works really, really well, because what you're then doing is it's not me. It's not we're the sixth best, largest what's it in the world, and we're going to pay you more commission than anyone else. Because these guys get all that all the time, because, somebody with all the best will in the world, someone sold a course, they've sent a load of templates out, and everyone's just banging these templates out everywhere. I get probably 1 or 2 an hour. Come and join my affiliate program, Mr. Jason. I will pay you X for this and that. And it's like, I don't even know who you are. I don't even know your company. I don't even know the brand. And sometimes what we find with closed networks, the first thing we do, and this again might be different for other people, is I might contact you via direct message on LinkedIn. I might not even email you. And that email's not going to, and that direct message is going to be, hey, you and I both work in this space. We're targeting the same customers. Can we have a conversation? I want to get you on Zoom. I want to get you on the phone. I don't want to have this email where I send you a templated email with a whole bunch of attachments that's going to take 10 minutes to load, that's not going to work on your phone, and I'm just going to really annoy somebody because it's like, who the hell's this guy? Why has he sent me a video? I don't want to watch a video. So we tend to find sometimes it's and the other thing that I tend to do, or we tend to do, is the fact that that's then more personable. It's not templated. It's not scripted. Yes, it can be scaled. It can be scaled. I'm not saying it can't be, but it doesn't look like it. So the small private groups, we tend to start with maybe I'll send five emails or messages a week, and then I'll follow up with them. Because what I'm doing is I'm also iterating my process all the time. So I'm then going back to people and then sort of saying, right, okay, that didn't work, this didn't work. Different industries work in different ways, they have different language. So, you need to try and talk to them in their own kind of language. So, yeah, I think, and everything's, you've got to remember everything's cold. So I'd hate doing mass blasts of, 10 million emails cold. I'd rather go and research somebody, go and find the owner of an affiliate program, an affiliate website, or go and look at a creator. There's no point me emailing a creator if they actually want to be communicated with via YouTube message. So what have I done already? I've actually proved the fact that I don't even know who you are, because I haven't gone to your YouTube channel where it says contact me at, or media inquiries at, or sponsorship inquiries at. If I've not even been bothered to do that, why would you even open my email? So
totally. It's so funny to listen to you, because there's so many parallels between your world and mine. It's funny to see. I think the thing that the reason that people who are really successful with this channel tend to be the same people who go slow in the beginning and figure out those little details is because they don't like to rely on hopes and prayers and thought, just praying is depending who you are, maybe it's a good part of your life, but it's not a marketing strategy. And I think that having the control over the outcome is really important, and a big part of what you mentioned, starting with small list, like following up, thinking through the process of iterating on the opens and clicks and so on.
It's just, what's the rush? Where's the fire, son?
Yeah.
Hopefully, yes, you started your business today. Yes, business is getting faster. But guess what? Some of the most successful companies have been around, Facebook's been around, nearly 15 years now. Everyone thinks, oh, wow, you've got to rush, you've got to speed. But you don't. Just do what you need to do, take your time. And do it properly, do it right, build on firm foundations. So yes, outreach for
and
us.
I think it might be physically impossible to scale anything without doing it properly in the beginning, because you just don't learn enough to have a foundation to then, like, maybe you do this manually and it works perfectly, and then you can pour 10 million emails in and actually get 1 million responses or whatever. But otherwise, you're just pouring 10 million emails in, increasing your cost load on every like vector, and seeing like worse results than you would sending 5 emails a week, like you mentioned.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of what we do.
Yeah.
I mean, we learned something back in, I think it was 2013, and we used to do a whole bunch of shady stuff. So we used to try and test all these tools. No, we would test all these tools. We would test the content generators, all this kind of stuff, and that was part of what Google Pharma was about. That's why I killed my network. So that's fine. It's kind of my fault. But one thing that I learned from that was, if it hasn't, with automation especially, if it hasn't got an undo button, don't do it. If you can't undo something quickly, don't do it. So all these automation tools, all these social media tools that you can have it aggregating and resharing and then translating into a foreign language and then translating it back and sending it out and splatting things everywhere. If you can't push an undo button, don't do it. Because at some point you might have to unpick all that, or it's going to cost you your business. And it's the same with blasting out 100,000 emails. You can't unsend those once they've gone. So just send out 100.
Yeah.
See what kind of see what kind of complaints you get and everything else. You can do that. You can still do that every day. So you can still ratchet that up quite quickly. You don't have to go from stay at like 5 emails. But start with small numbers. Don't just bang out 100 million emails. You also got to make sure you know where those emails have come from and if they're opted in and all that kind of stuff. You have to say that because that's kind of a big thing that causes people problems. So just go slow, take your time.
Got you. So once you have this closed network of a few people you've recruited, then how does it go from there? How do you think about like activation? Those kind of things. Is there like relationship management to do, providing in influencer marketing? We have lots of ideas for how to incentivize creators to keep publishing, keep earning commission, those sort of things. And there's like the relationship management part and the creative part, and there's all that stuff. What's that world like in affiliate, especially if you're building like a closed network community? Yeah,
so closed networks are great because you can obviously then do real world events. So you can invite, we do it with some of our insurance partners. Some of our insurance partners will invite you to a day at the racetrack, and that can be horse racing, or it can be cars, or it can be something that's related. Or they'll have a networking breakfast or a lunch, and they'll get everyone in, and they can meet each other, and they can, So we're trying to build relationships within the network, and then also open that, as much as it's a closed network, with each other. Because what you then tend to find is you're building community, because a lot of these creators work in their own little bubble. They don't come out, they don't interact with other people, then they don't share ideas and that kind of stuff. So we do that kind of thing. Other thing we're doing to activate is activations, it's become a bit of its own thing. Recruitment and sales, but now you have activation in the middle, because what tends to happen is an affiliate will see your program at 3:00 in the morning, join it, and then you never hear from them again. It's like they've just dropped dead. Then it's a case of, right, how do I motivate this person? Why did he join my program in the first place? So then what we do is, instead of, most people, what they'll do is they'll send them an email going, put your links live, put your links live, put your links live. What we'll do is we'll go and look at his website, and then we'll say, you've got 10 blog posts here which has meets exactly with our product. Here's your affiliate link that you can just add it, put it in here, and off you go. We make it almost impossible for them to say no, because we've done all the work. It's not as if we're just saying to them, put our links live. We're actually helping them. And then as an ongoing relationship management piece, what we then tend to do is we then tend to help them with all kinds of stuff. So we're always sending out content ideas. We're telling them our top 10 products. We're sending out information about reviews that we've had. We're doing all this kind of stuff to keep us front of mind all the time. And then what we're doing is we're then trying to bring in other people and other skills. So we're saying to people, they may have a TikTok channel. Are you cross sharing your videos on Facebook? Are you doing it on YouTube? What else are you doing? And then they might not know YouTube very well. So you say, why don't you install TubeBuddy, and TubeBuddy will help you optimize your video listings. So we're just always trying to help. And it's just that kind of thing that you then become important to them, and that's the relationship. That's what you can't scale. I can't do that with 10,000 affiliates. I don't have enough time in the day.
Yeah, how do you think about that? How do you think about the balance between scalability then and that investment in driving activation and driving converts over time?
Yeah, so you have to have, this is where you have the hybrid model of a closed small group of, that you're going to work with on a one-to-one basis, and then you'd have a network. You could take people out of the network and put them into a small group, and you could build that group. But yeah, that's the one that's going to get probably 60 to 70% of your attention. What you can do on a broader scale within the network is yes, I've got 1,000 affiliates, but who's sending traffic? And then I can run reports, and maybe I can do some, I don't know, I can use something like Ahrefs or SEMrush, and I can run little PDF reports to send them once a month. And I can automate that process. I can say, if you're not looking at your SEO, did you realise that you rank for all these keywords? And guess what? These keywords relate to our product, and here's a link, and blah, blah, blah. So you can automate some of that, but you wouldn't want to do that for 10,000 affiliates. You'd probably, 1% of your affiliates are going to be the ones driving any kind of volume of traffic. I mean, we've run an affiliate program on a network that had, I think, 700 affiliates, and we only had 2 affiliates driving volume traffic. But that was £1 million commission program a year with 2 affiliates. So it doesn't take much. But guess who I spent my time focused on and helping? It's a no-brainer.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I really like this. We've seen that a bit. I hadn't thought of it quite that way, but we've seen a bit what happens internally in some of the best performing creator programs that we've seen is there is basically 2 sets, even if you don't think of it as closed and open, but you think of it basically as high priority and then everybody else. And your high priority creators are the ones that you call them on their birthday, you have lunches, you do the whole thing. You do whatever you can from a relationship perspective to keep them interested, keep them involved, and keep them producing. And so, I'm curious a bit about the bottom 90%, let's say. How do you think about picking them up a little bit? Do you have like less white glove things that you've done in the past that have pulled maybe the bottom 25% at least up to midline, or any ideas on that front?
So we did some things on activation, and we'll do really weird things. We've just had Easter, so a little while ago now, it was a few years ago when we were a merchant. We used to run our own lending platform. So we were doing personal loans and that kind of thing. And one of the things we did to activate our affiliates is we said, if you put your links live this week and send me a screenshot, we'll send you an Easter egg. Literally, I will post you an Easter egg. And we had, I think I spent probably £300 on Easter eggs, but we got something like £120,000 worth of commission income from that. And it was just because it was the right time of year, it was just kind of random. So you can do all that kind of stuff, or you can say to, something that's low value, perceived high value that's low cost. So send them a t-shirt, send them something. If you do this, I will do this for you. The other thing that it could be for some of these smaller affiliates is it could be something like, actually, if you put your links live, what we'll do is we'll share that on our social media. Now, if you're a business that's got, pretty big presence, that's a good motivator, because now you're getting their brand in front of your audience. That hasn't cost you anything. And in fact, it's actually going to work for you, because the revenue is going to come back to you anyway, because you're basically promoting their affiliate link, which is promoting you. So this kind of stuff, or you can say, if you write a blog post about us, we'll pay you $50. Or if you do this, what we'll do is we'll share it on our social media, and we've got 100,000 followers. It's a good thing to motivate people. I'm not being cheap, but I'm just trying to find different ways to motivate a creator, because sometimes, and I'm going to shoot myself here, it's not necessarily about the money. It's about building their audience.
I mean,
It could be about building their audience, and that if you give them access to your audience, that could skip tip the scales. You know, you can do that at the bottom level, because all you need to do, create a spreadsheet, stick it in later, fire one off every 24 hours. That's all done, and then you just carry on, and then they're motivated. They've now got links live. They've now got content that relates to you. They're now sending traffic. As soon as they get that first sale, that's the drug hit. Boom, that's the dopamine. Then they'll go, oh, we'll do some more of that, and then off it goes.
Yeah, so much of what you said, it's so interesting, is like you basically try to care about the person as an individual and speak to them as an individual, write to them as an individual, think about them as an actual person on the other end of this relationship, and then throw spaghetti at the wall and do things that person would want you to do in order to get them to move forward. And I think, yeah, it's really cool. I'm sure that not every initiative you've ever tried has been like a massive success, but every now and then you find a couple things that are that work really well, that are repeatable, affordable, drive like immediately 120 grand in bookings or whatever you mentioned. And yeah, people seem sometimes like really fearful of just thinking, if I was a person in my influencers, in my affiliates' shoes, what would I want? What would I appreciate? And what's my day look like? And how can the brand fit into my day in a meaningful way? And then just pursue that. I think it's not really rocket science. It's just like human nature and a little bit of spaghetti throwing.
Yeah, and it's just, you know, especially with creators, you know, find out, you know, it's not hard to go and see what their most popular content is. It's really not hard. Mm-hmm. You know, what's most engaged, what's most commented, what's liked, what's shared, what's all that stuff. You can go in and you can go, oh, right, people seem to like these guys when they're out and about doing stuff. Okay, let's invite them to our head office. Mm-hmm. Let's invite, if you have the ability to do that, let's invite them to our manufacturing plant. Let's talk to them about creating their own branded version of our product. Ooh, we've not talked about that yet. You know, actually going to somebody and saying, you know, all these guys will be on Redbubble and Spreadshirt and things, selling merch and all that kind of stuff. What if we worked on a co-branded product with you?
Yeah.
Mind-blowing stuff for some of these guys. and it's like, wow, I've never thought about doing that. Are they then going to post that on social media? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so, it's so funny too, because if you think about what marketers go to school to do, it's like they spend 4 years in university to try to, so that they can someday be creative in the office, and then they show up in the office and they forget that they're supposed to be creative and have some fun with it. And I think that's one of my favorite things about working in this space, is there is so much there's so much fun you can have in this space, and there's not like, because it's so human and so like interpersonal, then you can do crazy stuff. I mean, throw your creators out of an airplane with a parachute and have them have the parachute branded. I mean, that'd be awesome.
There's all kinds of things. I mean, I remember back in the day there was a UK network that were in finance and insurance, and basically they had a volume driving competition for a year, and at the end of the year, the winner went up in a MiG 29. They sent you up. In they sent you up in a MiG. Now that was probably
so cool.
15 years ago, and I still remember it because I was affiliate number 3. So I didn't get to go. But then again, I'm too tall. I'm too big to sit in a jet fighter anyway. I'm 6'6", so yeah, I'm not sitting in a small plane. But yeah, so that kind of stuff, you know, works. Another agency I know used to send out Christmas cards with lottery tickets in them. You know, just little things like that. You know, it just sticks in your head. It's just remembering, and it's just creating experiences and memories for people. Sometimes.
I love all those little ideas. Are so awesome. Is there anything else, maybe in the process of going from 0 to 100 affiliates, that you think is particularly important for people to keep in mind, or that advice you always find yourself repeating?
Yeah, but don't worry about the number. It's so you know, don't go in and think I need 100 affiliates. Go in and find, because most people will use a tool. They'll just get, so you go into Awin and you search through the publishing network and you go, wow, I'm going to tick all these. I'm going to tick. Right, I've got 100 affiliates. But you got the wrong 100 affiliates, or you got the wrong 200 affiliates. You haven't searched properly, or you haven't done something. So don't worry about how many affiliates you've got. You want affiliates that are going to be engaged and work with you. And normally there's probably about 20 or 30 we go after straight away. top cashback, Quidco, Honey, voucher code sites, discount coupons, some employee perk sites that are quite good. So you can build up a core straight away, because it's not about the number of affiliates you've got, it's when they start sending sales. That's then your motivator to go out and sort of grow, really. So, yeah, like I say, we've had programs that have had hundreds of affiliates that only 2 did the work. We've had affiliate programs with thousands of affiliates where maybe the top 20 did the work. It's not about the number of affiliates that you've got, because it's about the ones that are going to do the work. So try and get that out of your mindset as the business owner, to go, right, okay, I'm joining a network, so I want 200,000 affiliates. You don't. You want the ones that are going to do the work. So don't get hung up on the numbers. Go and search through that database, find the right affiliates. I mean, AWIN is a good example, because they run, they've got blogs, they do all sorts of stuff. They're always talking about their high performing affiliates and referral partners, and they're always doing developments, and they've all got stuff going on. So just go in and read that. And then all of a sudden you suddenly find, I found one the other day, it's like this network of, this sort of sub-network of affiliates that they don't talk to creator space, they talk to another space, I think it's YouTubers. It was like, oh wow, okay, so I went and did that, and I've looked at these people. You've got sites like Skim Links that go off and automatically put affiliate links into things. So, go in, don't worry about the number. It's not about having 1,000 affiliates, it's driving sales. And I don't care initially if it's one affiliate driving 1,000 sales or 1,000 affiliates driving 1 sale. I'd much rather have one affiliate driving 1,000 sales, because then I can go and get a second one that can drive another 1,000 sales, as opposed to get lost in all these affiliates thinking who's doing what, what's working, what's not working, what have I got to fix.
And I think a lot of that comes back to the theme of the show, maybe, which is like this combination of intentionality and planning. Plan what you actually want to accomplish. Do it in an intentional manner. Don't send a million emails to a million different people. Take the time to think about who you are as a company. Get the details right. Get your numbers right, what we started with, and move intentionally and gradually from there. Very, very cool. To put a pin on this then, maybe a similar question, but from the influencer side. For influencer marketers who consider kind of a commission-based affiliate model for part of their creator cohort, any specific advice for the mindset shift or anything that needs to change in that direction? Any words of motivation?
Yeah, I mean, so two reasons. When I saw this question come through, I thought, I've got 2 answers to this. One's a nice one, one's not so nice. The not so nice one is, as the business owner, don't flog a dead horse. If you can only work on commission basis, don't go and even talk to people that will want some kind of tenancy or creator fee or whatever. If you don't have that mindset that you've got a war chest and a budget to do that, don't bother. If these guys come back, if you say, how can we work together, and they come back with a media pack, or they come back with a rate card, which for some business owners this is like a shock. This is like, what do you mean you've got a rate card? You're not an editorial website. You're just some guy sat in his pants at home. That's their mindset. So therefore, I would just file that and say, right, okay, we're not ready for them now. We'll be ready for them in 6 months when we've built our product and we've got some more money. What I wouldn't do is I wouldn't be going back to them and going, can't we work on a commission-only basis? Can we work on a commission-only basis? Forget about it. Don't worry about it. Just move on. And let's be honest, Modash will give me 20 times more people to go after that will work on a commission basis. So, that's kind of the brutal answer. If you do, be prepared for a hybrid. But what I also say to the business owner is make sure that you get something in return in terms of numbers. Show me some case studies. Who else have you worked with in a similar space, and what are the results? I can then go back to the client and say, or the business owner can then make a rational decision. If you're just saying, well, you're going to get in front of my 500,000 YouTube followers, that doesn't make any sense to me. I can't equate that to this $20,000 fee. If you say to me, that $20,000 fee, we did that with Pepsi or whoever, and they got X number of attributed sales, then I can take a view and I can make a view on that. So you kind of have to know both. It's not just about the creator saying, well, we've sold 4 of these sponsorship deals and that's how it works. you need to be a little bit more open, and you can anonymise the content. You can say, we had an insurer, or we had a beach ball company, and they, did this, and we had all these sales. If you can reassure me as the business owner that's about to transfer over a whole bunch of money without really knowing what you're doing, it's kind of that thing kind of helps. So I think you've got sort of two ways of looking at it. If you're not ready for it, don't have the conversations. If you are ready for it, again, it comes down to numbers. Make sure that the creator know their numbers. And it's not that we're not trying to catch you out. We're not, we're just trying to make a good sales case, especially for me as the agency in the middle. I need to not just go to the client and go, oh my God, we've got somebody with 500,000 YouTube followers. We're saying we've got somebody with 500,000 YouTube followers. They did something with our competitor and they did this. What do you think? And that's the other thing. We recommend something, but I'm not the one writing the check. So, and I don't care one way or the other. I'm not the client. The business is paying me for the consultancy and the management and the recruitment and all that stuff, not the creator. So it's not as if I'm taking backhanders from anybody to go, well, I'll push you to this client, and sorry, it doesn't work that way. So yeah, we try and make it as open, but unfortunately, it all comes down to numbers, performance, and looking at historical
Makes sense.
stuff.
Yeah, I totally agree on the first point about when you get when you reach out to somebody you're really excited about and the price doesn't make sense, or the way they package deals doesn't make sense, or the communication even doesn't make sense. You learn something new. A lot of people struggle in the beginning with that, with saying no. I think it's because most marketing people don't come from a sales background. And so people who have any sales background tend to crush this part of the creator partnerships process, the recruiting and negotiation piece. And so you have to put your salesman hat on a little bit, know when to say no and to move on to the next thing. I think it is, you can come back with a counter offer in the case that you have you fit well into the creator's life. The brand makes sense. Maybe the commission, maybe they don't totally understand the commission structure. I think you can take a second at bat and take a swing, but you're totally right. I don't think you should just keep coming back to this person with the same offer that they keep rejecting. Definitely doesn't make sense. And people can get stuck there. They ping 3 people. Those 3 people don't make sense, and then they give up. The channel doesn't work. It's impossible. And they never come back to it. So
yeah, we see that all the time.
Well, Jason, thanks, man. This was a lot of fun. I learned a lot. No,
it's fun. Yeah, I enjoy it. I'll sit and talk all day, as you can tell.
I could too. Yeah, I really like this. Yeah, thank you so much. Anything you want to plug, or do you want to pitch Speedie real quick to the audience?
Yeah, I mean, right now, so Speedie's a partnership marketing consultancy. We run affiliate programs, referral programs, partner schemes, ambassador programs. Call it what you like, it's all the same stuff, just slightly different. We do B2B, we do B2C, predominantly UK focused at the moment, but we have some US clients as well, so we can do anywhere English language speaking, really. And we can do as much as the client wants. So we can overhaul your program, we can audit it, we can talk to you about just creating a program that we can then train in-house, you can then go off to do it yourself. We've got a whole raft of different ways of working with us. So the best thing to do really is to visit the website, speedieconsulting.co.uk, and that's Speedie with an IE, not a Y. Or just find me on Facebook, because I'm on Facebook quite a lot, really, so because of my hobbies. So that'd be a good way.
Wicked. Awesome. Thanks, man. I'll end the recording here. Thanks for watching, folks, and there'll be a link to Speedie in the description. Hasta la vista.